Hello, my name is Dr. Corey Wren. I'm a vegan feminist, a vegan sociologist, and you got it, I'm a vegan witch. Today we're talking solar magic. And I think this is good foundational vegan magic stuff. So stick around, let me explain. As I'm recording this, it is a historic heat wave here in Southeast England, really across Europe. And I'm currently recording from my bedroom, which is the coolest room in the house. And it has been just straight up torture. I mean, having to dunk the cats and dunk my cats and my dog in water to make sure they're keeping cool, which they hate, but you have to do these things. And I've just been thinking about also this, as I'm recording this, coming fresh from solstice season. I went to Avebury, as I always do every year. And I've just been thinking about how we might harness this solar energy and incorporate it into our vegan witchcraft. Now, the theory behind this is pretty straightforward. If you're completely new to witchcraft, in witchcraft, we follow the Sabbats, the wheel of the year. So what this means is we don't think about time in a linear fashion. We think about it in a cyclical fashion. So we follow the seasonal changes, the solar changes, the lunar phases. So when we're in the summer season, that's when the solar power is at its highest, yes? And this is impacting plants, ecosystems, non-human animals, even ourselves. And this is something we honor as witches. We just sit with that and we think about it, and we help. This kind of like awareness helps us to ground ourselves in the earth, in nature. And this can be very, very important for sustaining our activism and rejuvenating us and just keeping us really rooted in nature, which is really, really important when we're doing this difficult vegan work. Because it's not nice out there, is it, Keely? No. Yeah, the animals are also hiding in the bedroom because it's cooler in here. So yeah, that's basically what we do. So at the solstice season, sun's at its highest. The days are longer. When we get closer to Lammas or Lunasa in August, that's when the sun is really, really strong. But because of this historic heat wave, here we are. So we know that this affects us, right? You may have heard of seasonal affective disorder. We know that we feel more energized in the summer seasons when we have more sunlight. We as human beings are impacted by the sun. We need the sun in order to process some of our vitamins. We need this, especially as vegans, we need that for our D3. But also plants, of course, are photosynthesizing because of the sun. Like, that's actual real magic. We're actually engaging with this energy of the sun and making energy ourselves and growing our bodies, and plants are growing their bodies. And it's an amazing sort of relationship we have with the cosmos. This giant ball of fire out in space is impacting us all the way here on Earth and shaping our mental well-being, our physical well-being, the food we eat, et cetera, et cetera. So just thinking about that, I think that's a good foundational vegan witchcraft right away. We don't even have to do anything, just being aware, thinking about the sun and how it impacts us. But I think also when we're thinking about witchcraft from a vegan perspective, so if you are a witch and you just don't know much about veganism, something to consider here is that in witchcraft, we focus quite a lot on how can we build energy, how can we harness energy. And in witchcraft, yes, there's a big focus on the sun, but unfortunately, there's also a big focus on animal oppression and exploiting non-human animals. And I've written quite a lot about this in my book, Vegan Witchcraft. But it seems like anytime we have a major Sabbath, one of the first ways that witches want to celebrate that is by having some kind of ritual feast. And usually non-human animals are front and center in that and not alive. And for those non-practitioners, this is height of the barbecue season, isn't it? Where we literally gather around a charred, roasting corpse. And it's ritual in its own way, even for the most non-pagan people. It's a gathering around a roasting of dead animals. And that's a way of building community, reestablishing hierarchies. There's gender norms associated with it, reestablishing our human supremacy, domineering over these non-human animals, oftentimes in highly landscaped garden spaces, which also represents our domination of nature. And this, of course, permeates into witchcraft. And just because witchcraft claims to care about non-human animals and be rooted in nature doesn't mean that actually it's doing that in the day-to-day practice. So as a vegan witch, I would say that when we're thinking about solar magic, let's maybe move away from celebrating that through harming other animals and think about how actually there's fundamental magic in the sun working with plants and our bodies in order to create energy and to build us and to sustain us. It's truly, truly fascinating stuff. It's like, that's real magic. So what can we actually do? So these are, I think, the first and foremost, when you're thinking these things, you're contemplating things, that's witchcraft in of itself, because even being mindful of those things helps to ground us and sustain us. But what can we actually do? Well, like I said, one of my favorite things to do to celebrate this time of the year when the sun is out and about is to go visit the hinges. I have lots of videos on my hinge visits, but like I said, Avebury is the place I like to go for summer solstice. It's relatively easy to get to for me. Glastonbury is not as easy, and Stonehenge is not as easy, but Avebury I can get to. But I've mentioned this in my videos about Avebury and other Stonehenges. Really, you also need to be mindful when you enter these spaces that these are hinges that are not just there to clock the cosmos, but also these are sites of great religious and spiritual celebration and feasting. And one of the reasons that a lot of people would come into these places from all over. They would travel great distances to get off, many of them way up in Scotland or down here at the bottom of England. People would travel great distances. Well, one of the reasons why is because there would be mass slaughter, usually with pigs. And that is definitely the case with Avebury. So when you enter these spaces and you celebrate the sun and you're celebrating this kind of connection to something bigger than ourselves, we also need to be mindful that, unfortunately, not just barbecue season in modern times, it was barbecue season in prehistoric times as well. So you can honor these non-human animals and pay homage to their great suffering and kind of recommit to our veganism and entering those spaces. Another thing that you can do if you don't want to take a great pilgrimage, or if you're living somewhere where you don't have Stonehenges, you can just do some simple sun magic. So one of the easiest ways that you can do some sun magic is to make sun tea. This is something from where I come from. I come from a very sunny place. I come from Virginia in Appalachia. And sun tea is just simply get an old mason jar, or a big jar, put your tea in it, and let it steep in the sun. Not too long, because you don't want bacteria growing, but just enough. Like, we're having really, really hot days, I can set it out there and it's done in no time. So in this video, I'm making some beautiful, it's black tea with lavender in it. And this is definitely lavender season right now. So that's sort of amplifying that solar magic. You can also work with sunflowers. As I'm recording this, it's not sunflower season yet, but there's a lot of magic to be done with it. Scott Cunningham, one of the OG witches, he always had lots of different ideas about how to work with sunflowers. And I think that's really interesting because it actually overlaps with vegan symbolism. The sunflower is one of the more common ways to denote vegans. The Vegan Society used it for a very long time. And why is that? Because it's celebrating our connection to the earth, our connection to the sun. Sunflowers are representative of that great system that we're in. And they feed us as well. Obviously, sunflowers are very big in vegan cuisine. So you can do that. You can also do a simple candle spell. You can use a gold candle or a yellow candle, orange candle to represent the sun's energy. And you can charge that under the sun. And when you're burning it, maybe you anoint it with some oil of your choosing. And then when you're burning that, you can be thinking about some of these themes that I mentioned in this video, and how the sun is sort of cycling in your own life. Where are you along that journey? But one of my favorite things, and this is the thing I'll end on, one of my favorite things for people who are just brand new, who are vegan, maybe brand new to witchcraft, I think one of the best things that we can do, the easiest things that we can do, is every single day that sun rises and every single day that sun sets. every day it rises and every day it sets. So even in this big old world with all this horrible stuff that's happening to non-human animals and to humans, and we've been struggling as vegans to intervene on that and make the world a better place, and it just seems like everything's crashing down sometimes, and it's just, there's no hope. And no more poignant than it is right now as I'm recording this with this historic heat wave. Like, climate change is here. We've reached crisis levels, and it can be so despairing. But the fact that we have that constancy of the sun that comes up every day and sets every night, and we can rely on it, the world keeps turning, the sun keeps feeding us. That's something I think that we can meditate on and keep in our back pocket. So, happy solstice to you. Enjoy some sun magic. And if you have any ideas about how you like to celebrate with the sun and veganize it, let me know in the comments. If you want to learn more about this stuff, definitely check out my book, Vegan Witchcraft. But you can also subscribe to this channel. The whole point of this channel is to try to democratize vegan witchcraft, get our creative juices flowing, because the whole point is that we need to be able to imagine a world beyond speciesism. And we need to start creating our new belief systems, our new rituals, our new ways of sustaining ourselves. So thanks very much, and subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff, and I'll see you next time. Keep it witchy.